First thing, just an injury update and a fitness update of the squad this week. I know the games are coming thick and fast.
Yeah, injuries. We're all good, to be honest with you. So Tom Kearney's still struggling a little bit, but other than that, really, Marek Rodak with an finger problem. But other than that, mate, we've come out of the busy schedule okay. So yeah, we're all guns ahead, really.
How's Kevin as well? I saw the news, obviously, about the kidney transplant that he's planning next month. How's he doing both physically and mentally?
Yeah, he's been as good as gold, really. I spoke to Kev a few weeks ago regarding his situation. I've always been, people at the football club and myself have been aware of obviously the situation. This has been an issue with Kev for some time, and in terms of when that opportunity or when it would be needed for him to have that operation, obviously has come at this point. So yeah, he's fine, to be honest with you. So in terms of, he's got a big few months ahead of him, but no doubt the way he is as a fella and what he's about, he'll come out of this and hopefully be as good as ever, really. So in terms of his decisions at the end of that, I still think that he's not 100% sure on what he's going to do, but I think the main focus for Kev and everyone else is that he gets better after the operation and then can decide on what's best from there.
I want to talk about your undefeated run that you moment in time, great run of form. During this time, I think what's been more interesting is the fact that you've only conceded one goal in sort of your last 5 games. Has the ethos and mentality changed at all to make sure you go in now never not conceding at all?
I think it changed probably early on when we was in this. I think this was obviously a team when we come into this league, and we conceded a lot of goals and never really give ourselves a platform in games to be competitive and to try and win football matches. So I think from that outset, the team, the players have worked tirelessly to try and put that right, and we have become much more solid, and we give ourselves a platform, and I think that's down to the hard work that the players have put in and what they've done, certainly. And it's probably changed a little bit over the last few weeks. You fix that problem, you give yourself that real base and that foundation, and then from there, you still want to be creative. We still want to be a front foot team that can score goals, that can be dynamic and look a real threat in them attacking positions, and I think we've got that balance pretty well. Of course, I think we all recognise we'd like to, our attacking play or at the top end of the pitch, we could get there. But like I said last time to you, this is a team, what I look at, that I'd be much more concerned if we weren't getting in these positions or creating these opportunities. All of our attacking numbers in the final third are very, very pleasing. So yeah, I have no doubt that this will turn in that sense in where we're going. So yeah, that's probably it, really, mate.
You will be best equipped to answer this next question, both from your player and experience and also as a manager as well. Fulham's record in London derbies in the Premier League is the best. Haven't won in the last 21 London derbies, but you would know, representing so many London clubs, how important these games can be. How do you expect to sort of get your team motivated going into this big one against Spurs?
Yeah, look, I think the one thing we're all missing at this present moment in time, and certainly in these moments, is fans, because the fans are probably what drive up the atmosphere and the occasion. And when it comes to London derbies, that's certainly the case. So that they're a big miss in really big games like this. Of course they are. But like anything, like you said, it is a London derby. You record what you said there. I don't really take much notice. I think we had the same when we went and played Everton a few weeks ago. People were saying we'd not won there for 20 odd years or whatever it was. So, but look, you're right. I think first and foremost, whether the fans are in the stadium or whether the fans are not in the stadium, this means a lot. There is a different dynamic to all derby games. And last week was the same against Palace, and it's the same this week, really. So that's my job. To either educate or to give the players an understanding. Players what not have been at this football club and maybe don't understand the derby or what it's about. That's down to me to try and crank it up as much as I can, albeit normally the best people to do that are when you run out at 3 o'clock on your home fans or the away fans, whatever that is, they help you even more, really, and we've not got that. So we'll crack on.
I know we've been conversing a lot as of late in press conferences, so I tried to make the questions really interesting because we're all talking about the same subjects. And I'm going to bring to you another stat. Have you seen a difference in your win percentage when you before 4 after 4 o'clock? I just wanted to know, because you actually haven't won a game when you play before 4 after 4 o'clock. You've obviously played a lot better.
Yeah.
Is there a difference in that? Where does that come from? What is the reality behind that one?
There definitely could be something in it. Definitely, I think that is a stat you're putting at me. Well, I don't think I could easily back you and say I don't see that. There definitely could be something in that, and it is something we've looked at in my staff. Early kickoffs, they're different. You're waking up at 8 in the morning, and players are eating pasta. There is a different dynamic to that. But in saying that, I don't know whether it's. I don't know whether that is the big factor, but of course, I think for someone in my position, I'm always open to looking at certain things. How do we change that, or what do we do? 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock, I don't see that one, but certainly the early kickoffs is very different. A 12 o'clock kickoff, it's like I said, it's very different in terms of your routine as a player, routines and how you go about it, your training times the previous day. Because obviously you're going to be on you're playing earlier, so how that balances. So certainly is something what I'd look at, JD. Yeah.
The last 2 questions for you today, Scott, and then I'm really feeling the confidence, not only from the fans that are very vocal on social media in terms of messages, but even in the injections of both your players and yourself are making at this moment. How important is this momentum going to be as you get to the latter stage of this season?
Massive, going to be massive. Look, I think the be all and end all. This is it now. We get to the nitty gritty of the end of the season, and the last 10 games or the last 12 games of any season is ones what everyone remembers. They're the times when people win championships, break goal records, or whatever it may be. This is the moment, and we need to understand that this journey this year has been nothing short of brilliant for me, because I've seen a team develop here, the players grow. But like I said, at this moment now, this is where it is, and we have got momentum. I feel we're in a very, very good place. Of course, big challenges ahead of us, and we know that from now until the last game of the season in May, we're going to face a lot of challenges. But we've already experienced them challenges. We experienced some massive challenges early on. We've been down a bit of a bumpy road, and we've managed to come out. And like I said, I feel the players are in a good place, and we need to maintain that, and we have to maintain that. We understand now that from now until the end is, like I said, is going to be the most important, and everything else what we've done so far to this point will probably be forgotten about come the end. What's important is these next 10, and we're ready.
And my final question today is just the global news about the bid for the World Cup in 2030. Just obviously you being a prominent manager in this country as well, how does it make you feel? And obviously the year that we've had the last 18 months or so is it?
Yeah, it'd be incredible, to be fair. You only read about the Euros maybe getting moved here as well, and what that brings, I think, for a country like ours, in terms of the situation we've been in and we've all been in, it looks like things are getting better, which has been very pleasing and gives us all hope and encouragement. But a big competition. I remember the one we had, like the Euros in '96, and I was a young boy then. Literally, and what it brings and the energy and everything can only be a good thing. So fingers crossed that will be the case. Fingers crossed that maybe we could get more games in the Euros what are coming up if that's the case as well. So I can only see it being a really good thing.
It's a pleasure as always, Scott. Look after yourself. Good luck.
Cheers, JD. Thank you, mate.
Thanks, JD. We move over to Jonathan Overend, Premier League Productions, please.
Hi, Scott. Just carrying on that theme of momentum a little bit. How important is league position and the whole in your hands thing? Because win tomorrow night, you're out of the bottom 3, and potentially by the end of the weekend, it could be in your hands. Are you emphasising that point?
No, I'm not. No, I'm really not, Jonathan. Look, I'm emphasising the point that we need to win games. I'm emphasising the point about us as a team and what we need to do and how we need to go about our work to win football matches, certainly in this division, how we need to keep progressing. Never am I looking at a league table. Never am I, and that will be my stance all the way through this to the end of the season. It honestly will. And we've got to this position where only probably 5 weeks ago we was cut adrift. If you look to the table, but we've got to this point where we are now through just concentrating on us and what we need to do and how the sole focus is us. In teams and in good teams, and the energy you lose from worrying about the what ifs is really negative, and it can sink you. And what I mean by what ifs is what if that team do this, and what if we do this, and what if we draw or they. It's energy that, in the end, you lose sight of what you need to do. You lose sight of being bright and coming with a real attitude about wanting to improve and stepping onto a football pitch, having a real determination about wanting to beat a team and be better and understand the tactical elements and listening. And you need all that, and anything else for me is just a real blur. And even in my position where I stand, I can't afford to watch a game the night before our game hoping that something happens and it doesn't happen, and my performance levels drop as the coach of the team. So I won't let that happen, and that's why my stance is always the same really on that, Jonathan.
Yeah, so with that in mind, I guess, positivity to the fore for what is going to be a tough run of games coming up, Scott. I mean, often managers talk about sort of mini leagues, beating the teams around you in the division, but that's sort of not the aim for the next few games. It's an unpredictable season. Big results are happening. So do you feel you've got one coming up?
Yeah, and you're right. Tough games, none tougher than the 3 we're going to go and face. And but like you said, it is an unpredictable season. We've seen teams get some crazy results. We see where teams are in this division at this moment, what you wouldn't have ever expected maybe at the beginning of the season. And that's because of the way the season's been this year, really. So do I envision, or do I expect us or want us to go and or hope that we go and get some results? Do I think we can? I honestly do. And as good as the teams are, what we're facing and what we're going to face in the next 13, 12 games, whatever it is, I firmly believe with the way we've gone about ourselves, how competitive we've been, we can give anyone a match on our day, really, and that needs to be our focus, really.
And the final one from me, you had those incredible seasons at Spurs playing with Gareth Bale, the guy who used to be a left back but then started tormenting everybody. How are you planning to deal with him tomorrow night?
Yeah, look, I like always, every week in this division you come up against individual players that have special quality and at any given moment can win football matches. And of course, Gareth fits right into that bracket. I played with him, I know too well his quality. But as quick as you're looking at Gareth Bale, you're then also turning your eye to Harry Kane, Son, Bale. So of course we'll be prepared as well as we can. The information will go into the players in terms of how we can try and nullify Spurs as a team, and a very good team that they are, and individuals as well. So hopefully that does the job.
Brilliant. Keep up the good run.
Thanks, John.
Cheers, Jonathan. Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan. Emma Jones.
Hello, Scott.
Hi, Emma.
Obviously, you've played Tottenham and drawn against Tottenham not that long ago, Liverpool as well. So this talk about, a tough run you're going into, are your next 2 games against 2 sides that you've already taken points off?
Yeah, they are, and I think that gives us confidence. Of course, it does. I think it gives us confidence to know that we can compete. But also the flip side of that is, Emma, that we are also playing against teams extremely, in the 2 you mentioned, unbelievable teams, and in what they can possess, and at any given moment on their day, they can hurt a lot of teams in this division. So we understand that. But I think it's fair to say that, I think I've said it for a little while now in terms of the way I feel about my team, and how I feel that we can be competitive, and we can, if we go about our work the way we've gone about it over the last 16, 17 games, then we can get results. And hopefully that's the case tomorrow night, and then leading into the rest of the games before the end of the season.
I think in terms of form, you are in better form than Tottenham at the moment. Does that give you confidence too, despite the quality players that you've just mentioned?
It gives me confidence in my team. It gives me confidence in my team. In that sense, Tottenham, look, at any given moment, Tottenham can go and lose 3 on the bounce or be out of form, and they could, as quick as they're out of form, they're in form again because of the players they possess in the team, really. So I don't really look at that for us in terms of where we're going and the journey we're on and the form we're in. Of course, that's momentum and that's a positivity. But as always, every game brings its different challenges and every game's a new one. I'd rather be in where we are at this present time, facing Tottenham, Liverpool, Man Cities and Leeds and whatever they are coming, than on the flip side of that. So
I imagine the solid defence helps. There are suddenly an awful lot of fans of Anderson and Areola in particular out there. So they're starting to get noticed.
Yeah, they've done extremely well for us, Emma. Brought players in. And of course, they come with experience and they come with their quality. But as always, when you bring players in from different countries, what I've never played in the Premier League, and the challenges that can sometimes bring, and I think we've seen that over the years, is always a concern. But these 2 players have practically come in and really just adjusted very, very well to the Premier League, and they've been vitally important for us. Along with others as well. And while we mention them too, of course, they've done extremely well. There's a group of defenders here that have done really well and have improved and have got better. And that's the reason, really, we've become a little bit more solid.
A lot of your players, though, at the moment are on loan. Regardless of what happens this season, is this a squad that is going to end up being dismantled in the summer?
Could be. Yeah, it could be, Emma. There's that possibility. The decisions you make as a newly promoted club, of course, are to, first and foremost for us, is let's try and stay in the division, and what do we need to do to stay in the division. And of course, you realise that you come to the end of the season like us, and there may be another rebuild. You may lose a lot of players. How that process, I thought we got the balance well. I thought we signed the players we've actually signed, or we have an opportunity to sign, are young players, hungry players, what want to improve. And of course, we've topped that up with some big loan players that may be not the case that we can keep them. But that's the route we've gone down for the goal of trying to stay in the Premier League. And whatever it is at the end of this season, there's going to be decisions to make, and it's going to be another blank canvas. But we'll make that decision, or we'll get to that point come the end and see where we go from there.
Is one danger, one fear that if it does really come to a relegation fight at the end of the season, you've got players who aren't necessarily playing for the shirt that they're wearing, if you see what I mean? They know they've got clubs to go back to in the summer.
Yeah, no, it doesn't bother me. I don't see that now, to be honest with you. I think if ever there was a moment that maybe you would have seen that, there's been many moments along this season when really morale, or as in attitudes of players, could have quite easily dipped because of what the situation we was in. We've got an unbelievable group here, created an environment and a culture around it and you're good professionals. And if you're a good professional, whether you're on loan, whether you've got a 5-year deal, if you're a good professional, you focus on yourself, you focus on the team and what you need to do, how you need to stand out. And how, at the end of the day, when you got to step on a football pitch, we all know too well that everyone's judging you. And whether you're on loan or whether you're not on loan, people are judging you. And I feel we've got the players we have got on loan. I know you could quite easily say, are they really that? Are they bothered? They are in that sense, and I sense that really.
And finally, from me, there was a little war of words, or was there? Or did we make a lot of it about the kind of the hasty rescheduling of the game against Tottenham at their place? And I just wonder if you and Jose Mourinho have made up.
Yeah, I mean, it was what it was, and I felt it wasn't right in such a short turnaround. had a conversation, and Jose felt the other way, so it was all fine. We was given plenty of time for this one, to be honest with you. I think this was meant to be scheduled in April, and we was given enough time for this one, so all happy.